incredible, Moscow is burning. A whole storm was unleashed on the front for Yos, the enemy is confused. The system is breaking down before our eyes. Drones have turned the front line into a hunt. This has never happened before. Strikes are hitting where they are least expected, powerful Russian facilities are in flames, and their rear is no longer the safest place. Our forces are moving to a new level. And this is just the beginning. So what really happened and why? Besides panic, all the details are coming up right now in the report. Don't miss it. Hello, this is Ukraine Today. I'm Solomia Dolik, bringing you the latest events. Historically unprecedented. There is a real collapse in oil refining in Russia. Currently, 3.8% of oil refinery capacities in Russia have been shut down. Gasoline production in September dropped by 1 million tons, and the domestic market deficit has reached 20%. Russian companies are practically powerless in the face of the crisis. Repairs at the affected refineries could take months, especially due to sanctions. The situation is further aggravated by constant attacks from Ukrainian drones. For example, a massive fire recently broke out at one of Russia's largest oil refineries in Yaroslavl. Ukrainian drones regularly strike Russian oil refineries, and as a result of such attacks, the facilities partially or completely halt operations. This means fuel shortages and rising prices. And while Russia is burning, the armed forces of Ukraine are step by step pushing the enemy back. Ukrainian defenders have repelled dozens of attacks near Toretsk and Kupiansk. The occupiers fired rockets, dropped aerial bombs, and launched kamikaze drones, but the armed forces of Ukraine are not only holding the line, they are thwarting all of the enemy's plans. Our drones hunt mercilessly. The 65th Brigade's Unmanned Systems Battalion has once again added to their Bukhanka Cemetery collection. They destroyed 15 enemy vehicles along with the occupiers. Let's take a look at how it happened. A convoy of Piryetsky vehicles. While our defenders repel attacks and strike back at the enemy, Russia continues to loot even in the rear. Under the Kerch Bridge, Russian military boats escort vessels carrying stolen Ukrainian grain and coal. This is the first video that captured the so-called Piryetsky convoy. Evidence of looting and war crimes by the Russian Federation. The video was provided by Petro Andriushchenko, head of the Center for the Study of Occupation. Let's take a look. FPV versus Gerbera. Our defenders at the front continue to fight back even against new threats. Fighters of the 63rd Brigade using a Ukrainian FPV drone shot down a Russian Gerbera strike UAV. This is a cheap copy of the Shahed, capable of flying up to 300 kilometers and carrying 5 kilograms of explosives. Nothing like this had been shot down before. Our forces saved time and resources for their comrades by eliminating this threat on their own. Meanwhile, Special Operations Forces are also attacking on the ground. The soldiers of the 73rd Naval Special Operations Center carried out a precise operation in the northern Slobozhansky direction. Operators of combat groups cleared enemy positions and the surrounding area, bringing in infantry units. The exhausted and demoralized enemy was unable to resist. The Special Operations Forces drove out the enemy and now have full control over the area that the enemy had held for a long time. Let's take a look at how it happened. While the Special Operations Forces are clearing the land route, our drones continue to strike enemy positions along the front line. In the Pokrovsk direction, flying SkyMass fiercely cut through the enemy's convoy. 2 trucks, a van, a gazelle, 2 cars and a buggy were destroyed. Let's watch.
Every voice matters. Join our community, support independent journalism and help us bring you the truth from Ukraine. Become a member of Ukraine today. Join us now.
Our drones are once again performing at their best. Pidrotsil Posipaki eliminated 5 enemy drones. 2 Molnias, a Zala, a Supercam and a Gerbera. 1 strike and the enemy is no longer a threat. More in the video. And the sky of the enemy's daily losses continues to grow significantly. In the past 24 hours, the highly effective Special Operations Forces have successfully eliminated a substantial number, nearly 1,000 of the invading occupiers. Furthermore, they have impressively shot down a hostile helicopter, preventing further aerial threats, and completely destroyed 27 advanced artillery systems, severely impacting the enemy's firepower. It is crucial to understand that these are not merely isolated incidents or minor setbacks, but rather a consistent and considerable pattern of devastating losses for the enemy forces. The enemy feels the cost of their invasion every day. The Special Operations Forces are also destroying the enemy's supplies. Warehouses, logistics, command posts, all are under attack by Ukrainian soldiers. Several of Putin's generals have already been eliminated, and a unique operation by the main intelligence directorate has been carried out on the other side. For our fighters, nothing is impossible. Details from the front right now.
Generators, damn it. Old makeshift baths, motorcycles, phenols. It's a truly desperate situation.
The occupiers filmed this video supposedly in the southern Slobozhansky direction. Despite heavy losses, the Russians still tried, a total of 15 times. They unsuccessfully tried to storm the positions of our units near the settlements of Hlaibok and Vovchansk.
Active defense is being carried out with counterattacks, and the situation on the battlefield is changing very dynamically.
Meanwhile, in the Pokrovsk direction, our defenders stopped as many as 87 assault and offensive actions by the aggressor in the area of the settlements of Shakov, Volodymyrivka, Orikov, Dakhna and others.
The Russian forces tried to bypass Pokrovsk from the north. Thus, they attempted to encircle, to form a complete ring around the significant Pokrovsk-Mirnogorod urban agglomeration, but they have not yet succeeded in their efforts.
In the Kramatorsk direction, at least 4 combat engagements have been recorded. The invader attacked in the area of the settlements of Chasiv Yar, Stupochki, Oleksandro Shultaine and Bilahora. In turn, the highly trained and dedicated units of the 5th Assault Brigade meticulously conducted a precise and exceptionally well-coordinated operation to effectively detect and subsequently neutralize enemy artillery positions and their associated threats. The soldiers posted the corresponding video online, and these are already the shots of our drones hunting down enemy personnel. The video published by the National Guard of Ukraine shows the work of their specialized brigade. The enemy finds no peace from the armed forces of Ukraine, neither on land nor on water. Over the past day, the occupiers have also lost a significant number of their boats. And here, yet another enemy ammunition depot goes up in the air. Despite the enemy's use of electronic warfare, the armed forces' drones hit their targets precisely. This week, Putin has also lost several of his generals, as all of them, thanks to the Special Operations Forces, have gone to attend Kobzon's concert. Our fighters managed to strike the logistics hub of the 8010th Separate Marine Brigade of Russia in the Kursk region. The strike hit the occupiers' storage bases, ammunition depots, as well as concealed locations where the brigade's weapons and military equipment were kept. But despite all of Russia's losses at the front and the relentless strikes on its positions, the Kremlin does not stop its attempts to terrorize peaceful Ukrainian cities. Thus, the Russian Federation plans to increase missile and drone strikes to up to 1,000 attacks per day by the end of the year. This was stated by NSDC Secretary Rustem Umerov, who said that after dictator Putin's meeting in Alaska with former US President Donald Trump, the attacks on Ukraine only intensified.
Of course, we need more air defense systems. We need funding for drones and interceptors. Russia is trying to increase the number of attacks to 1,000 per day. Therefore, by the end of the year, I think they will expand them. And this indicates that Russia has no serious intention of ending this war.
On the contrary, analysts assure that Putin is only preparing to escalate the terror. For example, Russia is now launching Shaheds from a site just 15 kilometers from the Ukrainian border. Satellite images proving this have been published by Western military observers. Objects resembling launchers located in the Bryansk region have 4 concealed storage zones and are equipped with 2 launch pads with catapults. Therefore, Ukraine's Flamingo missiles will have plenty of work to do. Fortunately, the number of units of this latest type of weaponry produced by the Ukrainian defense industry is increasing every day. Currently, Ukraine is already producing at least 50 missiles per month. Let me remind you that previously it was only 30 units per month. And by the end of this year, manufacturers promise to reach a production rate of up to 7 missiles per day. And here is another breakthrough, this time by the main intelligence directorate deep in the enemy's rear. GUR fighters shot down an enemy multi-purpose tractor on the Tendrivska Spit. As a result of a nighttime raid, our fighters managed to set up a mini minefield on the Spit, and it was into this trap that the Russian occupiers' multi-purpose tractor later fell. Previously, Russian army soldiers used it to deliver personnel, weapons and supplies to enemy positions. But now, thanks to the special operation by the GUR, they won't be able to anymore.
Attack after attack. Ukrainian drones are accurately striking the enemy's energy infrastructure targets. Each such strike weakens the combat capabilities of the Russian army, and the fuel shortage is already being felt across the entire territory of Russia. How the Kremlin is reacting to this and why their attempts to control the situation are doomed, more in the following report.
The commotion in the Russian Federation is growing and the scale is only increasing.
We're not staying in the middle. Don't be afraid. Evacuate immediately.
Just in the past few days, drones have attacked several Russian ports at once. In particular, they struck the Black Sea Fleet in Novorossiysk. According to Russian media, initially, surface drones hit the port. And a few hours later, the city center was attacked.
As long as there is no official confirmation of damage, this is all considered a violation of safety protocols. Someone is smoking in the swamps, even at sea.
As a result of the attack, the operations of the Transneft oil loading facility and the Caspian Pipeline Consortium terminal near Novorossiysk were paralyzed. At the same time, 120 kilometers away in Sochi, a threat was also reported. Tourists began to be evacuated from the beaches due to the threat of surface drones.
Do not panic. Do not be afraid. Evacuate calmly. Everyone, leave the water.
The commotion was also seen at the port of Tuapse. There, the oil terminal was attacked. This was also the work of surface drones. A video appeared online where you can hear bursts of gunfire and explosions, and you can also see attempts to hit maneuvering objects on the water.
The drone approaches the pier and strikes despite coming under fire, apparently from automatic cannons and machine guns, judging by the splashes around the drone.
As we can see, unsuccessfully, the attack hit one of the largest oil transshipment terminals in Russia.
This particular step is quite logical, indeed quite expected, especially after the recent strikes on various oil refineries and the significant destruction of critical installations vital to these essential plants. Now it is already clear that Russia is experiencing certain difficulties with fuel, with diesel fuel and with gasoline. And after all, the significant blow to the crucial export gateways of those very same powerful oil and gas companies will undoubtedly also bring the Russian Federation quite a few extremely unpleasant and challenging moments.
The transshipment points in Tuapse and Novorossiysk together could export 2 million barrels of crude oil per day. And this means that even a single day of shutdown is a huge loss for Russia.
Russia is actually in a very difficult position from an economic point of view. It is highly dependent on exports of fossil fuels, energy resources, lubricants, and raw materials. Export channels are used precisely so that they can receive foreign currency revenue, which is then used to fund the military-industrial machine. Right now, this is painful, and it leads to the fact that exports of certain products are not just decreasing by a few percent, but by tens of percent, and it is even affecting essential extraction, which could trigger a domino effect. When such forceful and sustained blows are repeatedly delivered, even if they are only inflicted in the thousands, this relentless assault will inevitably lead to the outcome that Mr. Cramp so aptly described. The metaphorical paper tiger, weakened by these continuous impacts, might simply and completely collapse under the pressure, losing all its perceived strength and influence.
And there are also less obvious consequences. Each time after such attacks, the Russians become more convinced that air defense does not protect them, but on the contrary, poses an even greater threat. Inaccurate fire from Russian troops led to the destruction of residential buildings, the destruction of several cars, and also caused panic among the locals. There are also reports of several fatalities. And the media are hinting that it was air defense, because, for example, in Novorossiysk, the day before, there was an order not to disclose the consequences of drone strikes. But everything is shown on television, which means that the burned cars and the hits on residential buildings are the result of air defense operations, not drones.
How do you assess the resilience and strength of Ukrainian soldiers on the front line? Share your thoughts in the comments. Like this video and stay with us so you don't miss the most important updates. Even more important things are ahead. See you in the next episode.